Hey everyone, it's Dr. Jess, chronic pain and pelvic health expert here. So, question, how much can your bladder actually hold? Anyone know? So I want you to think about the last time you went to the bathroom. Did you actually have to pee? Or did you go because you were leaving the house? Or because you were about to get in the car, you had a meeting to get to, or because you were going to bed? Or maybe you just walked by the bathroom and thought, I should probably go while I'm here, just in case. That little just in case pee sometimes seems completely harmless, and occasionally it is, but when it becomes something that you do all day, every day, it can start to influence the relationship between your bladder here and your brain. And this is something that I see all the time here in pelvic health. Someone will tell me, Dr. Jess, I have the smallest bladder ever, and one of the first things I want to know is whether the bladder is actually small, or is it maybe that most of the time you think you say you have a small bladder, but it's never been actually measured how much your bladder is holding. So what they actually mean is, I feel like I have to pee all the time. Those are two really different things. So today I want to talk about bladder capacity, what your bladder is designed to do as it fills, and why you can feel a strong urge when your bladder isn't actually full, and one really simple way you can start learning more about your own bladder right from home. So stay with me, because towards the end, I'm going to tell you how you can get a rough idea of what your bladder is actually holding. So what does your bladder actually do? Anyone know? I mean, your bladder is a really strong organ. Its job is not just getting urine out of your body, but it also needs to be able to comfortably store urine, all while your kidneys continue to produce it. So as urine enters the bladder wall starts to stretch. The sensory signals constantly travel between the bladder, your spinal cord, your brain, giving your nervous system information about what's happening. As your bladder starts to fill up, it receives signals that you may need to urinate. This is the part people often misunderstand. Feeling an urge does not automatically mean your bladder is full. Your bladder has different stages of filling and sensation. So you might first become aware that there is urine in your bladder. Later on, you might experience a stronger urge or desire to go. Eventually, when the bladder is significantly fuller, that signal becomes much harder to ignore. A healthy urinary system gives you some flexibility between those sensations. You should generally be able to notice an urge and think, all right, I'll go soon, rather than immediately feeling like you have seconds to find a bathroom. And that distinction does really matter. So how much should a bladder hold? So for many adults, functional bladder capacity is often somewhere around 3 to 500 milliliters. Although normal variations do vary between people. To put 500 milliliters into perspective, that's a little over 2 cups. That does not mean I want everyone listening to start forcing themselves to hold exactly 500 milliliters. It's not a bladder competition, but your fluid intake matters. Your medications matter, caffeine, alcohol can matter, pregnancy matters, certain medical conditions obviously influence, your age, your individual anatomy all matter. There are many things that influence urinary frequency, and I know, obviously knowing the general ranges give us some context, because if someone says to me, I have to pee every 45 minutes, and they're consistently emptying relatively small amounts of urine, that information is different from someone frequently urinating and processing large amounts of urine. This is why I don't love looking at frequency alone. Volume really matters too. But that just in case habit, let's talk about one of my favorite bladder conversations, because almost everyone does this, the just in case pee. You're leaving the house, let me go pee first. You're about to watch a movie, let me first pee, I better go now. You're getting into bed, I should probably try. You're taking your kids somewhere and you won't have easy access to a bathroom. You better go before you leave. Let me just go one more time. Occasionally doing that is not gonna destroy your bladder. But the issue is when you rarely allow your bladder to experience the normal filling because you're constantly emptying it too early. Over time, your brain can become accustomed to responding to earlier bladder sensations. You feel maybe a little signal and then you immediately go. Then you start organizing your life around preventing the urge altogether. And before you know it, you're the person who knows where every single bathroom is at Target. And you know which gas stations have clean bathrooms. You pee before leaving the house, even though you peed 20 minutes ago. And sometimes people stop drinking enough water because they think, if I drink less, I won't have to pee as much. And now we've created an entirely different problem. The brain-bladder connection is where your bladder health gets really interesting. So your bladder doesn't function independently